Creating talking head style YouTube videos and video podcasts is one of the easiest, most streamlined ways to create video content. But before you just crack open your laptop and hit record, you should know some of these talking head and video podcast tips, because if you're publishing videos to grow your audience, to build your community, and drive leads and sales to your online offers, your videos are the first impression that can kind of make or break all of that happening for you. So let's talk about it. This is the Crush It on Camera series, and my name is Meredith. I'm here to help you look good, sound good, and feel good on camera, because I believe everyone can create pro-looking videos that grow your audience and your business with YouTube. And although most computers and even iPads come with a built-in webcam and a microphone, and all of that tech has come a pretty long way in recent years, building your personal brand with video requires a little more than just the basic setup. That's why I created this entire Crush It on Camera series and the guide that goes along with it. So if you're a personal brand, or you own your own online business, or you're a solo video content creator, you have a course, you have a program, you have an online offer, you're some kind of communicator on the internet, you already know that video and YouTube are the most powerful ways to build your audience online. You wouldn't have clicked this video if you didn't already believe that was true. Now, I might have a fancy microphone today and a pretty sharp looking image for my videos now, but I want to show you something. I want to show you one of the first videos that I created on my channel. And by the way, most of the first videos I created on my channel looked almost exactly like this. It sounds complicated, time-consuming, overwhelming. I was using a real camera, but I didn't have a good microphone. So what you don't see here is I was using my phone to record my audio. It's actually tucked into my shirt, and it worked fine, because creating pro-looking videos, or good enough looking videos that actually grow your audience, has very little to do with your actual gear, and everything to do with how you use it and how you present yourself on camera. So do you have to have a professional setup to build your audience and your online business with YouTube? No. But if your videos come off as difficult to understand or hard to follow, or they're sort of half-baked and not edited very well, what does that say to your potential clients, students, and customers who are finding you on YouTube for the very first time? Now, I put together the free Crush It on Camera guide for you for this exact reason, right? This is your guide to creating pro-looking videos that grow your audience with ease. And I'll link to that down in the description so that you can get some ideas about how to configure your recording space, your YouTubicle, as I like to call it, and to make upgrades as you grow, or just use the gear that you already have. But I want to give you my best tips for creating pro-looking talking head videos without having to be a pro or invest in a big fancy studio. And I shared a lot of these tips throughout the Crush It on Camera series, but I kind of put the most important ones, or the ones that I found to be the most impactful to my success on YouTube, here in this video, all in one place for you. And by the way, these tips apply no matter what camera you're using, your phone, a webcam, a real camera, or what microphone you're using, what gear you're using, or where you record your videos. Starting off with number one, the most important part of your video is the audio. I know it sounds backwards, but it's true. Most people are willing to watch a video that doesn't look that good, but they're not willing to watch it if it sounds bad or hurts our ears to listen to it, right? Think about how many years we watched grainy television and grainy movies, but when we're listening to the radio in the car and we pick up on just the tiniest amount of static, we change the channel immediately. So if you're creating talking head videos, no matter what microphone you're using, whether it's built into your laptop or you have the $500 Shure SM7DB, like this brand new one I've been recording on, you have to take into account how close or how far away you are from your actual microphone. If you have an external microphone and you don't put it in front of your face, it's not doing you any favor. So make sure you just simply follow the manufacturer's instructions on that. Your microphone needs to be able to focus on the source of audio that you want it to pick up and reject all of the other audio in your room or in your space that you don't want it to pick up. So we talked about this in video number 3 in the Crush It on Camera series, and I just highly recommend that you prioritize your audio and get yourself a quality external mic. It doesn't have to be expensive, but go watch that video if you haven't yet. And I know I saw some questions about comparing this fancy microphone with a less fancy microphone and like, does it really make a difference? So be on the lookout for a video on whether you even really need a $500 microphone, and make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on that. It's so important that your voice and your words and your enunciation come through to your audience loud and clear in your videos, and especially in your podcasts. Number 2, this might be kind of a shock, or I don't know, maybe controversial to you, but I don't think people care as much about your messy background or the wrinkles on your face as you think they do. In video number 4 of this series, I talked about lighting yourself with a warm hug so that the camera can focus on you and separate you from your background, and to not use overhead or recessed lighting. Please don't do that. I'm using my Elgato key light. I do have a couple of lights over in the corner. These are LED lights. They're very harsh. So when I do need to use these, I usually point them towards the wall and let that light bounce off the wall. Decent lighting has really come a long way in recent years. You used to have like big box lights that took up a lot of space, and now we have these really good quality but minimal setup, like the Elgato key light, which you can control through Wi-Fi on your computer. When you're properly lit, then the stuff going on in your background is not even noticeable. It's not distracting. Nobody cares about it. If you really want to have a nice blurry background, I highly recommend investing in a camera where you can buy a good quality lens. But we talked about that back in video number 1, so I'm not going to rehash it here. You can start the series from the beginning if you missed it. But no matter what camera you're using, there's a couple of tips when it comes to actually getting yourself in the right spot in your frame. And a lot of people don't think about this. They don't notice these things until they work with me and I point them out to them. But you want yourself, your video, and the whole thing to look balanced and feel balanced. You don't want the video itself to be like weird or distracting, or why is there so much space above that person's head? We'll talk a little bit more about distractions in just a second, but use the rule of thirds. Put yourself in the middle and align your eyes with that top third line. It's super easy. It's pretty basic, but it really helps create a balanced look for a talking head style video. And for more on this, you can go visit video number 2 in the Crush It on Camera series. And if you feel like these tips on framing and not using overhead lighting and things like that are really helpful, please give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure that you're following me here on YouTube. If you're creating videos, pro-looking videos, polished videos, you're building your personal brand with YouTube, and you want those videos to actually grow your audience on YouTube, my best tip for building a thriving YouTube channel is coming up. But first, I want to address number 4. These are the things that I notice as a viewer on smaller channels that I do not see on really successful channels, okay? So number 1, looking at yourself in your screen instead of at the lens. So I'm talking about when you have a camera and that camera has a flip out screen. So you have your camera set up, it's facing you, and you're showing up over here. So you're looking at yourself instead of at your lens. Do you have to keep your eye contact locked with your lens at all times? No, of course not. That would be really unnatural, but it's so obvious. I get it. Like, you want to make sure, like, am I still in frame? Am I still in focus? Am I still recording? But this is a habit that you're better off just not forming to begin with. Just set your camera up, hit record, trust the process, and look at the lens so that your viewer feels like you are having a conversation and you're not, your eyes aren't like darting around back and forth between your screen and your lens. Second thing I notice on smaller channels that I don't see on bigger channels is being so close to your background that I can read your books. I've said this before, but let your background be the background. And when you create your YouTubicle, we talked about this in video number 1, when you create your YouTubicle, move yourself away from your background as far as you possibly can. The third thing I want you to look out for is the volume of your background music. When you're talking in a talking head video, background music is great. I love background music. I use Epidemic Sound for my background music, but I always err on the side of like too low versus too high. This is an absolute killer, and it's like super common with short form videos. Still, it applies to long form. Bring your volume way down, way down, and edit your videos with headphones or something so you can actually hear whether your volume of your background music is too high or not. Now let's talk about scripting your videos versus not scripting your videos. Here's my video structure. I put this graphic in the Crush It on Camera guide so you can download it for yourself too. But in general, know what you want to say before you start trying to say it. Know what you want to deliver in your video before you hit record. That way you don't ramble, you don't repeat yourself or forget important points that you want to make in your video. And try to keep your intro to like 30 seconds or less. Less is better. And then just get right into like the meat of your actual content. So keep your video moving. Avoid over explaining what the video is about at the beginning. Like just get into it. And always send your viewer to another video on your channel at the end of your video. For example, now that you know my best talking head video tips, you might be wondering, okay, but how can I make sure that the videos I create actually grow my audience and bring revenue to my business and not just disappear into the algorithmic ether? But when it comes to making videos, any videos on YouTube to grow your audience, building a library of binge-worthy videos is the most powerful way to do that. And I have a video explaining exactly how to become bingeable on YouTube so that you can attract new viewers and new subscribers with every single video you publish. So I've queued that video up for you here, and I've also linked it below. And subscribe to my YouTube channel.